Good afternoon and welcome to Biztech's Asian Midday Market Watch, powered by Rajhi Bank Malaysia. Kelvin Wong, market strategist at CMC Markets, is our guest today. Kelvin, good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon, Brian. Good to see you again.
Likewise, Kelvin. Now, before we get your insights, let's take a look at how markets in the region have been performing. We'll start with the crypto markets first. Bitcoin is at 20,147.7. It's down 0.59%. Ethereum is at 1,137.82. It's down 1.13%. Now, looking across to regional stock markets, it's actually a sea of red. The SGX is down 0.11%. Bursa Malaysia KLCI is down 1.05%. Shanghai is down 1.34%. The ASX All Ordinaries is down 0.38%. The Nikkei 225 is down 1.09%. The Hang Seng is down 1.61%. And rounding up the numbers, we've got the Kospi, which is down 1.5%. Kelvin, what's the reason for the sea of red?
Yes. So what we could see now over here is that unfortunately the various I'll say the major benchmark ASEAN stock indices, they didn't actually have a proper positive follow through that we actually saw in the later half of the US session overnight, where the majority of the majors US stock indices, the S&P, the Nasdaq 100 managed to actually close in the green after earlier losses. So what we could see at the start of this Asia session right now, based on the current situation, earlier gains that was seen in the Hang Seng Tech as well as the Singapore STI, all the gains were wiped out. So one of the primary reasons is due to this fear again of this global liquidity squeeze scenario, which is driven by this very significant strength in the US dollar that was actually being triggered yesterday during the European session, where the euro dollar actually did a very swift down move that actually broke a key support level. So that is actually the primary primary trigger that actually kickstart this negative feedback loop right now in the Asian stock market.
Now, yesterday overnight we had a steep fall in the euro. Yesterday, tell us why, and perhaps you could share some technical analysis around the US
Yes, sure.
dollar euro dollar spread.
Correct. So before we talk about the technical analysis chart of the euro dollar, let's look at the primary driver first. Now I share with the audience that what causing this fall in the euro dollar, which actually kickstart this we call it across the board dollar strength that is seen in the major currency, including the EM's currency as well. But interestingly, exclude the China's yuan. So that could be another story. So let's take a look at this chart. So this chart is actually I would say that the mostly watched European gas futures, which is the Dutch TTF gas futures, as an indication on the situation, the gas market situation in Europe. So what we could see over here is that since the low of May 2020, it has been trading in a major uptrend. So there's no signs of exhaustion of this major uptrend. And what's interesting over here is that this spike up in the earlier March this year, which is at 345 level. So this was actually during the onset of where Russia invaded Ukraine, that actually kickstarted this issue of this gas supply crunch in Europe. So what we could see yesterday or 2 days ago, the rally in this Dutch TTF gas future has been pretty much resilient. Number one, why? Firstly, we start to see this renewed fears that the Russia authorities, there's a high chance they may actually cut supply of Russian gas to the European nation, especially Germany, which is pretty much dependent on Russian gas supply. And do not forget over here is that in Germany itself right now, due to the lack of gas supply, it's actually creating a havoc in the Germany economy, where the economic minister has actually warned that a further supply chain crunch in Europe that is actually causing pressure in the German economy could actually kickstart a Lehman-like contagion impact on the eurozone. So that kind of actually created a fear into the markets. Hey, even though the ECB monetary policy, we call it monetary policy, has started to turn more hawkish last month, given the latest guidance, but they are not able to actually surpass the fear of this we call it European supply crunch that's happening right now in Eurozone that actually drive this euro weakness that was seen against the euro dollar. So what's interesting over here is that since we're talking about this Dutch TT gas is a primary driver of this we call it this primary driver that created this euro that kickstarted this euro dollar weakness that was seen overnight. So let's take a look at the next technical levels that Dutch TT Dutch TTF gas futures prices may go. So what we see that technically there's still no signs of exhaustion. And what's interesting over
Yes.
here is that the recent rebound actually came off right at a key confluence of support level, which is the 50-week moving average, and as well as this lower boundary of this ascending channel support that is in place since May 2020 low. So all in all, right, what we could see right now for the May low, it actually very close to 113%, which is pretty much significant. So definitely the next level will be the March swing high area, which is 345. Above this level could take us up to the upper boundary of the channel, which is coming in at 706.80. So given this pretty much strong, we call it a strength that is being seen in the European gas futures market, primarily driven by this supply crunch issue rather than a demand side story. So it could actually add more weakness on the euro dollar. So very interesting, right? If you look at the euro dollar chart, even this is the okay, one to share about is this is the longer term chart of the euro dollar. That means it's a 3-month chart. So way before yesterday's, we call it yesterday's rally in the Dutch TTF gas futures. The picture of the euro dollar doesn't look promising at all since the breakdown in April this year of this the bearish breakdown of this long-term circular ascending trendline support that we drawn from April 1985. So that's pretty long. So this is a 3-month chart of euro dollar. It gives us a bigger picture. So over at this point in time, the price action doesn't look promising. And yesterday's price movement actually reinforced this long-term bearish momentum or the bearish, what you call it, impulsive wave structure of the euro dollar through the bearish breakdown of that swing low, that October 2016 swing low at 1.035. So right now, right, potentially, right, the longer term chart is pointing us to the next support level, meaningful support level at 96 figure, followed by 90 level. So that's way more way to go on the euro dollar. That's below parity by looking at the long-term technical chart. So if you zoom into the shorter-term technical picture, don't forgetting over here is that there is also still some kind of key risk event that could actually impact the movement of the euro dollar, which is the US key employment data that is coming up this Friday.
This Friday. So the non-farm payrolls.
Yeah, the famous NFP, I call it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what we could see now is that if I go to the shorter term chart of the euro dollar, so this is a 4-hour chart. So what we could see over here is that the 4-hour RSI is now hitting very close to a extreme oversold level at around 23. Okay, let me draw the exact extreme oversold level. Okay, so that's 23.3%, coming very close to it. So what we could see over here is that given yesterday's very steep down move, it could from today until the release of this non-farm payroll or upon on the onset of the non-farm payroll, it may show a bit of minor bounce, okay, because of this extreme oversold condition in the short term. So the resistance the key resistance that I'm actually paying attention to maintain this short-term bearish bias in the euro dollar will be definitely at the 1.035, that level that was taken out yesterday. A bit of excess at 1.04 figure level, which is this former swing low area of 16th of June to 1st of July, and with the next support level coming in at 1.007 and 1 level, which is the parity level, which is also confluence with this descending channel support, short-term descending channel support from the high of 10th of February 2022. So this is what we call it the key levels that we are watching from a technical analysis perspective on the euro dollar chart.
Kelvin, as always, thank you very much for your insights and thanks for coming on the show.
My pleasure, Brian.
We've been speaking to Kelvin Wong, market strategist at CMC Markets, on Biztech's Asian Midday Market Watch, powered by Rajhi Bank Malaysia. I'm Brian Fernandez. This video and podcast will be on our various platforms as well as our website, www.biztech.asia. It'll also be on Rajhi Bank's social media platforms. Thank you very much for tuning in.